Section 0 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. A London Plane Tree and Other Verse by Amy Levy. Section 0. Introductory Poem. Mine is an urban muse, and bound by some strange law to paven ground. Austin Dobson. Dedicatory Poem. To Clementina Black. More blessed than was of old Diogenes, I have not held my lantern up in vain. Not mine, at least, this evil to complain. There is none honest among all of these. Our hopes go down that sailed before the breeze. Our creeds upon the rock are rent in twain. Something it is, if at the last remain one floating spar cast up by hungry seas. The secret of our being, who can tell? To praise the gods and fate is not my part. Evil I see, and pain. Within my heart there is no voice that whispers all is well. Yet fair are days in summer, and more fair the growths of human goodness here and there. End of Section 0. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 1 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. A London Plane Tree. Green is the plane tree in the square, the other trees are brown. They droop and pine for country air, the plane tree loves the town. Here from my garret pane I mark the plane tree bud and blow, shed her recuperative bark, and spread her shade below. Among her branches, in and out, the city breezes play. The dun fog wraps her round about, above the smoke curls gray. Others the country take for choice, and hold the town in scorn. But she has listened to the voice on city breezes born. End of Section 1. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Section 2 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. London in July. What ails my senses thus to cheat? What is it ails the place? That all the people in the street should wear one woman's face? The London trees are dusty brown beneath the summer sky. My love, she dwells in London town, nor leaves it in July. O various and intricate maze, wide waste of square and street, where, missing through unnumbered days, we twain at last may meet. And who cries out on crowd and mart? Who prates of stream and sea? The summer in the city's heart, that is enough for me. End of Section 2. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 3 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. A March Day in London. The east wind blows in the street to-day. The sky is blue, yet the town looks gray. 'Tis the wind of ice, the wind of fire, of cold despair and of hot desire, which chills the flesh to aches and pains, and sends a fever through all the veins. From end to end with aimless feet, all day long have I paced the street. My limbs are weary, but in my breast Stirs the goad of a mad unrest. I would give anything to stay The little wheel that turns in my brain, The little wheel that turns all day, That turns all night with might and main. What is the thing I fear, and why? Nay, but the world is all awry. The wind's in the east, the sun's in the sky, The gas lamps gleam in a golden line, The ruby lights of the hansom shine, Glance and flicker like fireflies bright. The wind has fallen with the night, And once again the town seems fair, 'Thwart the mist that hangs in the air. And at last my spirit steals A weary peace, peace that conceals Within its inner depths the grain Of hopes that yet shall flower again. Section 4
of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Ballad of an Omnibus. To see my love suffices me. Ballads in Blue China. Some men to carriages aspire, on some the costly hansoms wait. Some seek a fly, on job or hire. Some mount the trotting steed, elate. I envy not the rich and great. A wandering minstrel, poor and free, I am contented with my fate. An omnibus suffices me. In winter days of rain and mire, I find within a corner strait. The busmen know me and my lyre From Brompton to the Bull and Gate. When summer comes, I mount in state The topmost summit, whence I see Croesus look up, compassionate. An omnibus suffices me. I mark, untroubled by desire, Lucullus's phaeton and its freight. The scene whereof I cannot tire, The human tale of love and hate, The city pageant, early and late, Unfolds itself, rolls by, to be A pleasure deep and delicate. An omnibus suffices me. Princess, your splendor you require, I, my simplicity. Agree neither to rate lower nor higher. An omnibus suffices me. Section 4. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 5 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Ballad of a Special Edition. He comes. I hear him up the street. Bird of ill omen, flapping wide The pinion of a printed sheet. His hoarse note scares the eventide. Of slaughter, theft, and suicide He is the herald and the friend. Now he vociferates with pride A double murder in Mile End. A hanging to his soul is sweet. His gloating fancies fain to bide Where human freighted vessels meet And misdirected trains collide. With shocking accidents supplied, He tramps the town from end to end. How often have we heard it cried, A double murder in Mile End. War loves he, victory or defeat, So there be loss on either side. His tale of horrors incomplete, Imagination's aid is tried. Since no distinguished man has died, And since the Fates, relenting, send No great catastrophe, he's spied This double murder in Mile End. Fiend, get thee gone! No more repeat those sounds which do mine ears offend. It is apocryphal, you cheat, your double murder in mile end. End of Section 5. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Section 6 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Straw in the Street. Straw in the street where I pass today dulls the sound of the wheels and feet. 'Tis for a failing life they lay straw in the street. Here where the pulses of London beat, some one strives with the presence gray. Ah, is it victory or defeat? The hurrying people go their way, pause and jostle and pass and greet. For life, for death are they treading, say. Straw in the street? End of Section 6. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 7 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Between the Showers. Between the showers I went my way. The glistening street was bright with flowers. It seemed that March had turned to May between the showers. Above the shining roofs and towers, the blue broke forth athwart the gray. Birds carolled in their leafless bowers. Hither and thither, swift and gay, the people chased the changeful hours. And you passed and smiled that day, between the showers. End of Section 7. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Section 8 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Out of Town. Out of town the sky was bright and blue. Never fog cloud, lowering, thick, was seen to frown. Nature dons a garb of gayer hue, out of town. Spotless lay the snow on field and down, pure and keen the air above it blew. All wore peace and beauty for a crown. London sky, marred by smoke, veiled from view. London snow, trodden thin, dingy brown. Whence that strange unrest at thoughts of you out of town? End of Section 8. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 9 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The Piano Organ. My student lamp is lighted, the books and papers are spread. A sound comes floating upwards, chasing the thoughts from my head. I open the garret window, let the music in and the moon. See the woman grin for coppers while the man grinds out the tune. Grind me a dirge or a requiem, or a funeral march sad and slow, but not, oh not, that waltz tune I heard so long ago. I stand upright by the window, the moonlight streams in wan. O God, with its changeless rise and fall, the tune twirls on and on. End of Section 9. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Section 10 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. London Poets. In Memoriam. They trod the streets and squares where now I tread, with weary hearts a little while ago, when thin and gray the melancholy snow clung to the leafless branches overhead, or when the smoke-veiled sky grew stormy red in autumn. With a re-arisen woe wrestled, what time the passionate spring winds blow, and paced scorched stones in summer, they are dead. The sorrow of their souls to them did seem as real as mine to me, as permanent. To-day it is the shadow of a dream, the half-forgotten breath of breezes spent. So shall another soothe his woe supreme. No more he comes, who this way came and went. End of Section 10. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 11 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The Village Garden, to E.M.S. Here, where your garden fenced about and still is, here, where the unmoved summer air is sweet, with mixed delight of lavender and lilies, dreaming I linger in the noontide heat. Of many summers are the trees recorders, the turf a carpet many summers wove. Old-fashioned blossoms cluster in the borders, love in a mist and crimson-hearted clove. All breathes of peace and sunshine in the present, all tells of bygone peace and bygone sun, of fruitful years accomplished, budding, crescent, of gentle seasons passing one by one. Fain would I bide, but ever in the distance a ceaseless voice is sounding clear and low. The city calls me with her old persistence. The city calls me, I arise and go. Of gentler souls this fragrant peace is guerdon. For me, the roar and hurry of the town, wherein more lightly seems to press the burden of individual life that weighs me down. I leave your garden to the happier comers, for whom its silent sweets are anodyne. Shall I return? Who knows? In other summers the peace my spirit longs for may be mine. End of Section 11. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman. Section 12 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Introductory Poem. Ah, love! Could you and I with him conspire to grasp this sorry scheme of things entire, would not we shatter it to bits, and then remould it nearer to the heart's desire? Omar Khayyam. New love, new life. She who so long has lain stone stiff with folded wings, within my heart again the brown bird wakes and sings. Brown nightingale, whose strain is heard by day, by night she sings of joy and pain, of sorrow and delight.
'Tis true, in other days have I unbarred the door. He knows the walks and ways. Love has been here before. Love blessed and love accursed was here in days long past. This time is not the first, but this time is the last.
End of Section 12. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
And James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 13 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Impotence. If I were a woman of old, what prayers would I pray for you, dear? My pitiful tribute behold, not a prayer, but a tear. The pitiless order of things, whose laws we may change not nor break, alone I could face it, it wrings my heart for your sake. Section 13. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Section 14 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Youth and Love. What does youth know of love? Little enough, I trow. He plucks the myrtle for his brow, for his forehead the rose. Nay, but of love it is not youth who knows. End of section 14. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 15 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The Dream. Believe me, this was true last night, though it is false to-day. A. M. F. Robinson. A fair dream to my chamber flew. Such a crowd of folk that stirred, jested, fluttered. Only you, you alone of all that band, calm and silent, spake no word. Only once you neared my place, and your hand one moment's space sought the fingers of my hand. Your eyes flashed to mine. I knew all was well between us two. On from dream to dream I passed, but the first sweet vision cast mystic radiance o'er the last. When I woke the pale night lay still, expectant of the day. All about the chamber hung tender shade of twilight gloom. The fair dream hovered round me, clung to my thought like faint perfume, like sweet odors such as cling to the void flask which erst encloses attar of rose, or the pale string of amber which has lain with roses. Section 15. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Section 16 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. On the Threshold. O God, my dream! I dreamed that you were dead. Your mother hung above the couch and wept whereon you lay all white and garlanded with blooms of waxen whiteness. I had crept up to your chamber door, which stood ajar, and in the doorway watched you from afar, nor dared advance to kiss your lips and brow. I had no part nor lot in you, as now. Death had not broken between us the old bar, nor torn from out my heart the old cold sense of your misprision and my impotence. End of section 16. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 17 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The Birch Tree at Loschwitz. At Loschwitz, above the city, the air is sunny and chill. The birch trees and the pine trees grow thick upon the hill. Lone and tall, with silver stem, a birch tree stands apart. The passionate wind of springtime stirs in its leafy heart. I lean against the birch tree, my arms around it twine. It pulses and leaps and quivers like a human heart to mine. One moment I stand, Then sudden let loose mine arms that cling. O God, the lonely hillside, the passionate wind of spring. End of Section 17. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Section 18 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. In the Night. Cruel? I think there never was a cheating more cruel, through all the weary days, than this. This is no dream, my heart kept on repeating, but sober certainty of waking bliss. Dreams? Oh, I know their faces, goodly seeming, vaporous, whirled on many-colored wings. I have had dreams before. This is no dreaming, but daylight gladness that the daylight brings. What ails my love? What ails her? She is paling. Faint grows her face, and slowly seems to fade. I cannot clasp her, stretch out unavailing my arms across the silence and the shade. End of Section 18. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista. Section 19 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Borderland. Am I waking? Am I sleeping? As the first faint dawn comes creeping through the pane, I am aware of an unseen presence hovering round, above, in the dusky air. A downy bird with an odorous wing that fans my forehead and sheds perfume as sweet as love, as soft as death. Drowsy slow through the summer gloom. My heart in some dream rapture saith, it is she. Half in a swoon, I spread my arms in slow delight. Oh, prolong, prolong the night, for the nights are short in June. End of Section 19. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 20 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. At Dawn. In the night I dreamed of you. All the place was filled with your presence. In my heart the strife was stilled. All night I have dreamed of you. Now the morn is gray. How shall I arise and face the empty day? End of Section 20. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman. Section 21 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Last Words. Dead, all's done with. R. Browning. These blossoms that I bring, this song that here I sing, these tears that now I shed, I give unto the dead. There is no more to be done, nothing beneath the sun. All the long ages through, nothing by me for you. The tale is told to the end. This even I may not know, if we were friend and friend, if we were foe and foe. All's done with utterly, all's done with. Death to me was ever death indeed, to me no kindly creed. Consolatory was given, you were of earth, not heaven. This dreary day, things seem vain shadows in a dream, or some strange pictured show, and mine own tears that flow, my hidden tears that fall, the vainest of them all. Section 22
of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. June. Last June I saw your face 3 times. 3 times I touched your hand. Now, as before, May month is o'er, and June is in the land. Oh, many Junes shall come and go, flower-footed o'er the mead. Oh, many Junes for me, to whom is length of days decreed. There shall be sunlight, scent of rose, warm mist of summer rain. Only this change, I shall not look upon your face again. End of Section 22. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 23 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. A Reminiscence. It is so long gone by, and yet how clearly now I see it all. The glimmer of your cigarette, the little chamber, narrow and tall. Perseus, your picture in its frame, how near they seem, and yet how far. The blaze of kindled logs, the flame of tulips in a mighty jar. Florence in springtime, surely each glad things unto the spirit saith. Why did you lead me in your speech to these dark mysteries of death? End of Section 23. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Section 24 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The sequel to A Reminiscence. Not in the street and not in the square, the street and square where you went and came. With shuttered casement your house stands bare, men hush their voice when they speak your name. I, too, can play at the vain pretense, can feign you dead, while a voice sounds clear in the inmost depths of my heart. Go hence, go, find your friend who is far from here. Not here, but somewhere where I can reach. Can a man with motion, hearing, and sight, and a thought that answered my thought and speech, be utterly lost and vanished quite, whose hand was warm in my hand last week? My heart beat fast as I neared the gate. Was it this I had come to seek, a stone that stared with your name and date? A hideous turfless fresh-made mound, a silence more cold than the wind that blew? What had I lost, and what had I found? My flowers that mocked me fell to the ground. Then, and then only, my spirit knew. End of Section 24. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista. Section 25 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. In the Mile End Road. How like her! But 'tis she herself comes up the crowded street. How little did I think, the morn, my only love to meet. Whose else that motion and that mien? Whose else that airy tread? For one strange moment I forgot my only love was dead. End of Section 25. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 26 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Contradictions. Now even I cannot think it true, my friend, that there is no more you. Almost as soon were no more I, which were of course absurdity. Your place is bare, you are not seen. Your grave, I'm told, is growing green. And both for you and me you know there's no above and no below. That you are dead must be inferred, and yet my thought rejects the word. End of section 26. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Section 27 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Twilight. So Mary died last night. Today the news has traveled here, and Robert died at Michaelmas, and Walter died last year. I went at sunset up the lane, I lingered by the stile. I saw the dusky fields that stretched before me many a mile. I leaned against the stile and thought of her whose soul had fled. I knew that years on years must pass, or ere I should be dead. End of section 27. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 28 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. In September. The sky is silver gray. The long, slow waves caress the shore. On such a day as this I have been glad. Who shall be glad no more? End of section 28. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Section 29 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Introductory Poem. I sent my soul through the invisible, some letter of that afterlife to spell. And by, my soul returned to me, and answered, I myself am heaven and hell. Omar Khayyam. The Old House. In through the porch and up the silent stair. Little is changed, I know so well the ways. Here the dead came to meet me. It was there the dream was dreamed in unforgotten days. But who is this that hurries on before? A flitting shade, the brooding shades among. She turned. I saw her face. O God, it wore the face I used to wear when I was young. I thought my spirit and my heart were tamed to deadness. Dead the pangs that agonize. The old grief springs to choke me. I am shamed before that little ghost with eager eyes. Oh, turn away, let her not see, not know. How should she bear it? How should understand? Oh, hasten down the stairway, haste and go, and leave her dreaming in the silent land. End of section 29. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 30 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Lohengrin. Back to the mystic shore beyond the main, the mystic craft has sped, and left no trace. Ah, never more may she behold his face, nor touch his hand, nor hear his voice again. with hidden front she crouches. All in vain the proffered balm. A vessel nears the place. They bring her young lost brother. See her strain the new-found nursling in a close embrace. God, we have lost thee with much questioning. In vain we seek thy trace by sea and land, and in thine empty fanes where no men sing. What shall we do through all the weary days? Thus wail we and lament. Our eyes we raise, and lo, our brother with an outstretched hand. End of Section 30. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Section 31 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Alma Mater. A haunted town thou art to me. Andrew Lang. To-day in Florence all the air is soft with spring, with sunlight fair. In the tall street gay folks are met. Duomo and tower gleam overhead, like jewels in the city set, fair-hued and many-faceted. Against the old gray stones are piled February violets, pale and sweet, whose scent of earth in woodland wild is wafted up and down the street. The city's heart is glad. My own sits lightly on its bosom's throne. Why is it that I see to-day, imagined as clear as in a dream, a little city far away, a churlish sky, a sluggish stream, tall clustering trees and gardens fair, dark birds that circle in the air, gray towers and fanes? On either hand stretches of wind-swept meadowland? Oh, who can sound the human breast? And this strange truth must be confessed, that city do I love the best, wherein my heart was heaviest. End of Section 31. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista. Section 32 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. In the Black Forest. I lay beneath the pine trees and looked aloft, where through the dusky clustered tree tops gleamed rent, gay rifts of blue. I shut my eyes, and a fancy fluttered my sense around. I lie here dead and buried, and this is churchyard ground. I am at rest forever, ended the stress and strife. Straight I fell to, and sorrowed for the pitiful past life. Right wronged, and knowledge wasted, wise labor spurned for ease. The sloth, and the sin, and the failure, did I grow sad for these? They had made me sad so often. Not now they made me sad. My heart was full of sorrow for joy it never had. End of Section 32. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 33 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Captivity. The lion remembers the forest, the lion in chains. To the bird that is captive a vision of woodland remains. One strains with his strength at the fetter in impotent rage. One flutters in flights of a moment, and beats at the cage. If the lion were loosed from the fetter to wander again, he would seek the wide silence and shadow of his jungle in vain. He would rage in his fury, destroying. Let him rage, let him roam. Shall he traverse the pitiless mountain, or swim through the foam? If they opened the cage and the casement, and the bird flew away, he would come back at evening, heart-broken, a captive for aye. Would come, if his kindred had spared him, free birds from afar. There was wrought what is stronger than iron in fetter and bar. I cannot remember my country, the land whence I came, whence they brought me, and chained me, and made me nor wild thing nor tame. This only I know of my country, this only repeat: it was free as the forest, and sweeter than woodland retreat. When the chain shall at last be broken, the window set wide, and I step in the largeness and freedom of sunlight outside, shall I wander in vain for my country? Shall I seek and not find? Shall I cry for the bars that encage me, the fetters that bind? End of Section 33. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Section 34 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The Two Terrors. Two terrors fright my soul by night and day. The first is life, and with her come the years. A weary winding train of maidens they, with forward-fronting eyes, too sad for tears, upon whose kindred faces, blank and gray, the shadow of a kindred woe appears. Death is the second terror. Who shall say what form beneath the shrouding mantle nears? Which way she turn, my soul finds no relief. My smitten soul may not be comforted. Alternately she swings from grief to grief, and, poised between them, sways from dread to dread. For there she dreads because she knows, and here, because she knows not, inly faints with fear. End of Section 34. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 35 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The Promise of Sleep. Put the sweet thoughts from out thy mind, the dreams from out thy breast. No joy for thee, but thou shalt find thy rest. All day I could not work for woe, I could not work nor rest. The trouble drove me to and fro like a leaf on the storm's breast. Night came and saw my sorrow cease, sleep in the chamber stole. Peace crept about my limbs, and peace fell on my stormy soul. And now I think of only this, how I again may woo the gentle sleep, who promises that death is gentle too. End of Section 35. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Section 36 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The Last Judgement. With beating heart and lagging feet, Lord, I approach the judgment seat. All bring hither the fruits of toil, measures of wheat and measures of oil. Gold and jewels and precious wine, no hands bear like these hands of mine. The treasure I have nor weighs nor gleams, Lord, I can bring you only dreams. In days of spring when my blood ran high, I lay in the grass and looked at the sky, and dreamed that my love lay by my side. My love was false, and then she died. All the heat of the summer through I dreamed she lived, that her heart was true. Throughout the hours of the day I slept, but woke in the night, at times, and wept. The nights and days they went and came. I lay in shadow, and dreamed of fame, and heard men passing the lonely place, who marked me not and my hidden face. My strength waxed faint, my hair grew gray, nothing but dreams by night and day. Some men sicken with wine and food, I starved on dreams, and found them good. This is the tale I have to tell, show the fellow the way to hell. End of Section 36. Recording by James K. White. Chula Vista.
Section 37 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Philo de Se, with apologies to Mr. Swinburne. For repose I have sighed and have struggled in vain. I am held in the circle of being, and caught in the circle of pain. I was wan and weary with life, my sick soul yearned for death. I was weary of women and war and the sea and the wind's wild breath. I culled sweet poppies and crushed them, the blood ran rich and red, and I cast it in crystal chalice, and drank of it till I was dead. And the mould of the man was mute, pulseless in every part. The long limbs lay on the sand, with an eagle eating the heart. Repose for the rotting head, and peace for the putrid breast. But for that which is I, indeed the gods have decreed no rest. No rest, but an endless aching, a sorrow which grows amain. I am caught in the circle of being, and held in the circle of pain. Bitter indeed is life, and bitter of life the breath. But give me life and its ways and its men, if this be death. Wearied I once of the sun, and the voices which clamored around. Give them me back. In the sightless depths there is neither light nor sound. Sick is my soul, and sad and feeble and faint as it felt, when, far, dim day, in the fair flesh fane of the body it dwelt. But then I could run to the shore, weeping and weary and weak, see the waves' blue sheen, and feel the breath of the breeze on my cheek. Could wail with the wailing wind, strike sharply the hands in despair, could shriek with the shrieking blast, grow frenzied and tear the hair, could fight fierce fights with the foe, or clutch at a human hand, and weary could lie at length on the soft sweet saffron sand. I have neither a voice nor hands, nor any friend nor a foe. I am I, just a pulse of pain. I am I, that is all I know. For life and the sickness of life, and death and desire to die, they have passed away like the smoke. Here is nothing but pain and I. End of Section 37. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Section 38 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The Lost Friend. The people take the thing of course, they marvel not to see this strange, unnatural divorce betwixt delight and me. I know the face of sorrow, and I know her voice with all its varied cadences, which way she turns and treads, how at her ease thinks fit her dreary largesse to bestow. Where sorrow long abides, some be that grow to hold her dear, but I am not of these. Joy is my friend, not sorrow. By strange seas in some far land we wandered long ago. O faith, long tried, that knows no faltering! O vanished treasure of her hands and face! Beloved, to whose memory I cling, unmoved within my heart she holds her place. And never shall I hail that other friend, who yet shall dog my footsteps to the end. End of Section 38. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 39 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Cambridge in the Long. Where drowsy sound of college chimes across the air is blown, and drowsy fragrance of the limes, I lie and dream alone. A dazzling radiance reigns o'er all, o'er gardens densely green, o'er old gray bridges, and the small slow flood which slides between. This is the place. It is not strange, but known of old and dear. What went I forth to seek? The change is mine. Why am I here? Alas, in vain I turned away. I fled the town in vain. The strenuous life of yesterday calleth me back again. And was it peace I came to seek? Yet here where memories throng, even here, I know the past is weak, I know the present strong. This drowsy fragrance, silent heat, suit not my present mind, whose eager thought goes out to meet the life it left behind. Spirit with sky to change! Such hope! An idle one we know. Unship the oars, make loose the rope, push off the boat and go. Ah, would what binds me could have been thus loosened at a touch! This pain of living is too keen, of loving is too much. End of Section 39. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Section 40 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. To Vernon Lee. On Bello Sguardo, when the year was young, we wandered, seeking for the daffodil and dark anemone, whose purples fill the peasant's plot between the corn shoots sprung. Over the gray, low wall the olive flung her deeper grayness. Far off, hill on hill sloped to the sky, which, pearly pale and still, above the large and luminous landscape hung. A snowy blackthorn flowered beyond my reach. You broke a branch and gave it to me there. I found for you a scarlet blossom rare. Thereby ran on of art and life our speech, and of the gifts the gods had given to each, hope unto you, and unto me despair. End of Section 40. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 41 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The Old Poet. I will be glad because it is the spring. I will forget the winter in my heart, dead hopes and withered promise. and will wring a little joy from life ere life depart. For spendthrift youth with passion-blinded eyes stays not to see how woods and fields are bright. He hears the phantom voices call, he flies upon the track of some unknown delight. To him the tender glory of the May white wonder of the blossom, and the clear soft green leaves that opened yesterday, this only say, "Forward, my friend, not here." They breathe no other messages than this. They have no other meaning for his heart. Unto his troubled sense they tell of bliss, which make themselves of bliss the better part. Yea, joy is near him, though he does not know. Her unregarded shape is at his side. Her unheard voice is whispering clear and low, whom never resting seeks he far and wide. So once it was with us, my heart. To-day we will be glad because the leaves are green, because the fields are fair and soft with May, nor think on squandered springtimes that have been. End of Section 41. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Section 42 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. On the Wye in May. Now is the perfect moment of the year. Half naked branches, half a mist of green, vivid and delicate the slopes appear. The cool, soft air is neither fierce nor keen, and in the temperate sun we feel no fear. Of all the hours which shall be and have been, it is the briefest. As it is most dear, it is the dearest. As the shortest seen. Oh, it was best, beloved, at the first. Our hands met gently, and our meeting sight was steady. On our senses scare had burst the faint fresh fragrance of the new delight. I seek that clime, unknown, without a name, where first and best and last shall be the same. End of Section 42. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 43 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Oh, is it love? Oh, is it love or is it fame, this thing for which I sigh? Or has it then no earthly name for men to call it by? I know not what can ease my pains, nor what it is I wish. The passion at my heartstrings strains like a tiger in a leash. End of Section 43. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Section 44 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. In the Nour. To J. de P. Deep in the grass outstretched I lie, motionless, on the hill. Above me is a cloudless sky. Around me all is still. There is no breath, no sound, no stir the drowsy peace to break. I close my tired eyes. It were so simple not to wake. End of Section 44. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 45 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The End of the Day. To B. T. Dead tired, dog tired, as the vivid day fails and slackens and fades away. The sky that was so blue before, with sudden clouds is shrouded o'er. Swiftly, stilly the mists uprise, till blurred and gray the landscape lies. All day we have plied the oar. All day, eager and keen, have said our say on life and death, on love and art, on good or ill at Nature's heart. Now, grown so tired, we scarce can lift the lazy oars, but onward drift, and the silence is only stirred here and there by a broken word. Oh, sweeter far than strain and stress is the slow, creeping weariness, and better far than thought I find the drowsy blankness of the mind. More than all joys of soul or sense is this divine indifference, where grief a shadow grows to be, and peace a possibility. End of Section 45. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Section 46 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. A Wallflower. I lounge in the doorway and languish in vain while Tom, Dick, and Harry are dancing with Jane. My spirit rises to the music's beat. There is a leaden fiend lurks in my feet. To move unto your motion, love, were sweet. Somewhere, I think, some otherwhere, not here, in other ages, on another sphere, I danced with you, and you with me, my dear. In perfect motion did our bodies sway, to perfect music that was heard alway. Woe's me, that am so dull of foot to-day. To move unto your motion, love, were sweet. My spirit rises to the music's beat, but ah, the leaden demon in my feet. End of Section 46. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 47 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The first extra. A waltz song. Oh, sway and swing and sway and swing and sway and swing. Ah me, what bliss like unto this can days and daylight bring? A rose beneath your feet has fallen from my head. Its odor rises sweet. All crushed it lies, and dead. Oh, love is like a rose, fair hued, of fragrant breath, a tender flower that lives an hour, and is most sweet in death. Oh, swing and sway, and swing and rise, and sink and fall. There is no bliss like unto this. This is the best of all. End of Section 47. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Section 48 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. At a Dinner Party. With fruit and flowers the board is decked, the wine and laughter flow. I'll not complain. Could one expect so dull a world to know? You look across the fruit and flowers, my glance your glances find. It is our secret, only ours, since all the world is blind. End of Section 48. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
Section 49 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Philosophy. Ere all the world had grown so drear, when I was young and you were here, midsummer roses in summer weather, what pleasant times we've had together. We were not Phyllis, simple, sweet, and Corydon. We did not meet by brook or meadow, but among a Philistine and flippant throng, which much we scorned. Less rigorous it had no scorn at all for us. How many an eve of sweet July, heedless of Mrs. Grundy's eye, we've scaled the stairway's topmost height, and sat there talking half the night, and gazing on the crowd below, thanked fate and heaven that made us so, to hold the pure delights of brain above light loves and sweet champagne. For you and I, we did eschew the egoistic I and you, and all our observations ran on arts and letters, life and man. Proudly we sat, we two, on high, throned in our objectivity. Scarce friends, not lovers, each avers, but sexless, safe philosophers. Dear friend, you must not deem me light, if as I lie and muse to-night, I give a smile and not a sigh to thoughts of our philosophy. End of Section 49. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Section 50 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. A Game of Lawn Tennis. What wonder that I should be dreaming out here in the garden today. The light through the leaves is streaming. Paulina cries, "Play!" The birds to each other are calling. The freshly cut grasses smell sweet. To Teddy's dismay comes falling the ball at my feet. Your stroke should be over, not under, but that's such a difficult way. The place is a springtide wonder of lilac and May. Of lilac and May and laburnum, of blossom, we're losing the set. Those volleys of jennies, return them, stand close to the net. You are so fond of the Maytime, my friend far away. Small wonder that I should be dreaming of you in the garden today. End of Section 50. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista. Section 51 of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. To E. The mountains in fantastic lines sweep blue-white to the sky, which shines blue as blue gems. Athwart the pines the lake gleams blue.
We three were here 3 years gone by, our poet with fine frenzied eye, you steeped in learned lore, and I a poet too.
Our poet brought us books and flowers, he read us Faust, he talked for hours philosophy, sad Schopenhauer's, beneath the trees.
And do you mind that sunny day, when he, as on the sward he lay, told of La Salle who bore away the false Louise?
Thrice favored bard, to him alone that green and snug retreat was shown, where to the vulgar herd unknown our pens we plied.
For in those distant days it seems we cherished sundry idle dreams, And with our flowing foolscap reams the fates defied.
And after, when the day was gone, and the hushed silver night came on, he showed us where the glow-worm shone. We stooped to see.
There, too, by yonder moon we swore Platonic friendship o'er and o'er. No folk we deemed had been before So wise and free.
And do I sigh or smile to-day? Dead love or dead ambition, say, which mourn we most? Not much we weigh, Platonic friends. End of Section 51. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.
And Rhonda Fetterman.
End of A London Plane Tree and Other Verse by Amy Levy.